What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Join Ninja Nation, the best baseball community on YouTube. So hit subscribe, and without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Corbin Burnes, who threw 3 perfect innings with 5 strikeouts, had these wicked changeups, cutters, and 2-seamers. He finishes the season with an outstanding 2.94 ERA. A great season by the defending Cy Young Award winner. He battled Merrill Kelly, who had 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. Thanks to these breaking balls, he ended his season with a 3.37 ERA. Louis Varland had 5 Ks in 5 scoreless innings thanks to this fastball and slider. Aaron Civale went 6 innings with 9 Ks. Nice. Civale showcased these beautiful curveballs. In fact, he had a 75% whiff rate on his curveball yesterday with 9 swinging strikes. He finishes the season with a 43% whiff rate on that pitch and a 138 batting average against. Definitely one of the better curveballs in baseball. Speaking of curveballs, Clayton Kershaw was in action and had 9 Ks in 5 innings, giving up only 1 run. Kershaw had these dirty sliders and, of course, his Cooperstown curveball. It remains one of the prettier pitches in baseball. I did this overlay that you may find interesting. Here's an elevated fastball and an elevated curveball. And you can see why as a hitter you would give up on the elevated curveball. It looks way out of the zone compared to that fastball and then drops to catch the top part of the zone. It's one reason why elevated breaking balls can be really effective. You may not think of them as tunneling, but they are tunneling with a pitch that'd be way out of the zone. So it creates an auto-take situation for the hitter. Kershaw finishes the regular season with an amazing 2.28 ERA and a 12-3 record. Kershaw's career ERA, 2.48. Shohei Ohtani went 5 innings with 6 Ks, giving up only 1 hit. He had this White Castle special and this nasty cutter. Angels announcer Mark Gubiza gave me a shout out because he liked watching my videos on Twitter.
I love when we get to look on Pitching Ninja what he throws and shows how those baseballs move. That sinker he threw to Chad Pinder, and then you show the slider, that same arm slot. I mean, there's a real big difference between where those 2 pitches go.
So I figured I would do this overlay of Shohei Ohtani and his sinker and slider combo. You can see why that sinker is going to be a really important pitch for him. This sinker ran 19 inches, and that slider broke 14 inches the other way. But the biggest news from this game is Ohtani became the first player to qualify both as a pitcher and a hitter, meaning he pitched more than 1 inning for each game his team played, and qualified for the ERA title. I know Aaron Judge had a historic season, but Shohei Ohtani did too, the first player ever to accomplish that feat. Yes, even Babe Ruth didn't do it. Ohtani finished the season leading the American League in strikeouts per 9 innings and was 4th in ERA with a 2.33. Undoubtedly one of the best pitchers in the American League. He battled Ken Waldichuk, who had 4 Ks in 7 innings thanks to his fastball and slider, and definitely looks like a promising young pitcher. Matthew Liberatore didn't have a great game, but he did have my filthiest pitch from a starting pitcher yesterday with this curveball to O'Neill Cruz. Duck! My most dominant starter from yesterday was Framber Valdez, who had 10 Ks in 5 scoreless innings, giving up only 2 hits. He had a dirty cutter, but really dominated with his curveball, which, based on run value, is the most valuable curveball in the American League. He has a 45% whiff rate against that curveball, and hitters only hit 150 against it for the regular season. Now onto my filthiest relievers. Brian Abreu had these wicked sliders. Brian Baker had this changeup and fastball. Craig Kimbrell had 3 Ks in his 1 inning of work, thanks to his fastballs and knuckle curve. Ryan Presley had this nasty slider and changeup. Trevor Williams had this filthy changeup. Adbert Alzolay had these wicked sliders. And my filthiest reliever was Tyler Rogers, due to his incredible overlay of his fastball and rising slider. You see how that slider really does rise compared to his 4-seam fastball. Usually sliders actually drop more than fastballs, but because of Rogers' submarine arm action, everything's reversed. His 4-seam fastball actually averages 53 inches of drop, while his slider averages only 39 inches of drop. Total witchcraft. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. This many shakes is a sign you may have too many pitches in your pitch arsenal.
Nice photo op with the fans in the background.
Never mind, you go, Shohei.
Shake-offs.